All right. Hello, Mel. How are you?
Hey Amber, it's great to see you, honey.
Great. So, everyone, this is Mel Robbins, who is one of the most fantastic people that I've had the opportunity to meet. We met under some very fun circumstances. And Mel is, for those of you that don't know, though you should, is a CNN contributor. She is the best-selling author of the book Stop Saying You're Fine. She's a motivational speaker, and she's also the founder of Inspire52.com. And let's not forget that she's also a mom of three and a lovely wife to a fantastic husband who's also an entrepreneur himself. Is that about right?
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. You have a lot going on in your world. So I want to delve into that with you today and talk about, while you have all this happening in your life, you've also been able to choose. And I've been really empowered by your story in terms of how you have chosen the things that you want to do in your life. You've been intentional about that process. You've been on TV, you've been on the radio, you're a writer, you contribute to Success Magazine, and it seems like you're having a lot of fun in the process. So talk a little bit about how you've been able to make those choices, and maybe a little bit about how sometimes it's hard, when you need to kind of cut ties with things.
Wow, that's a lot. So where do I want to start with this? I mean, I think the bottom line, the thing that I get asked the most, because I've had a very windy, diverse, changing career path, and I've changed my job probably 11 or 12 times since graduating from law school. And so the question that I get asked a lot, and this goes back to the choices that you make, is how the hell do you go from being a criminal defense attorney to a corporate litigator to somebody working in content in the .com space, to doing interactive strategy in a technology company, to launching yourself as a business coach, to then getting discovered by the media, launching a motivational speaking business, becoming a syndicated radio host, hosting a reality show, and then ultimately doing what I'm doing now, which is I am a commentator for CNN on certain types of stories, and more importantly, I have co-founded a company that is on a mission to become the largest online women's publishing company on the web, publishing content for women ages 30 to 55 and really dominating the space. It's not just a website, Inspire52.com, but truly this idea of starting to create content that women care about, that's easy to read on your phone, that's easy to share with your friends, that's targeted and meaningful to us. So in terms of the choices, I think one of the most important things about choice is that too many times what I find, not only in myself, but in also with the thousands of women that I've met over the years, is just that we kind of know as women what we want. Your intuition is constantly there guiding you, but the fact is you typically don't listen to it. And not listening to your gut saying, that looks interesting to me, or your curiosity kind of pulling you towards something. I would imagine that as you're sitting here watching Amber and I talking right now, that you have something in your gut that you want to do, whether you want to write a book, or you want to become a speaker, or maybe you want to launch a business, or maybe you want to do something around your health. If there's something that has been guiding and poking at you, and every single day you're making a choice not to explore it. And so one of the most important things about choice that you can start doing right now is, instead of looking at choice like either or, so if you're unhappy in your job and you want to make a choice about launching a business, instead of looking at the choice like either I stay in my job or I launch a business, I think it's really important to look at all choices and intuition and curiosity that's coming from inside you as an and. So how do I do what I'm doing now and launch this business? How do I be a mom of three and write a best-selling book? How do I be 55 and get in the best shape of my life? And so if you can start to look at the way in which your gut pulls you and the types of choices that then that presents, try to look at them like an and, not an either or, if that makes sense.
It does. Wow, that's really powerful. And like right out of the gate, you're already giving actionable steps for our viewers to implement. So I really appreciate that. And I can definitely relate in the process of being a brand new mom myself, and how it's been a huge challenge, but at the same point, not deciding, you know what, it's too hard, and guilting myself, right? So it's this whole guilt thing, like I'm not a good mom because I'm a business owner. So I know you love to talk about the guilt thing too, and I'm certain that you probably have it in your life. So how do you make the guilt thing stop in your head?
I really don't have any guilt, to be perfectly frank.
Wow, you're amazing.
To be the best mom, you got to be happy.
Yeah.
Again, it's not an either or. Either I'm a great mom or I'm a great parent. I do think that you can be and as long as you're being true to yourself. And the other thing to keep in mind, Amber, is that as kids go through different ages, they go through different stages, and so do you as a mom. And there are going to be ages and stages where you need to be more present as a parent, as in physically present, in order to be happy, in order to be a great mom. And then there are going to be ages and stages where it's really not necessarily about being physically present. It's about being an incredible example and being emotionally present. And to me, I don't really have any guilt. And one of the reasons why is because I have, in answer to the question you're asking about choice, I really kind of allowed myself to follow my natural curiosity and to let that just take me where it's going to lead. And I never kind of set out to be in the media business. When a phone call came from CNBC about an article that was written about me, I was just kind of curious. So I said yes. And so I think the same is true with parenting. You got to figure out what kind of parent you want to be. You got to figure out what is the most important thing to you. And, you know, when Chris and I had kids, we've been married now for 18 years, and we've got 3 kids. Our oldest is 15, then we have a 14-year-old, and then a little guy who's 9. We basically decided we didn't want to have kids so that we could micromanage the living daylights out of them and turn them into a mini Mel and a mini Chris. We wanted to build a family and have kids because of what it provided for us as we grow older and what family life means. And the kind of parents we wanted to be was about figuring out how to best help our kids become the individuals that they're meant to be. And so to me, the best thing that I can do as a parent is, number one, show them an example of a very loving marriage and a very successful partnership and good friendship. Number two, I can show them an example of somebody that is truly happy in life. Number three, I can show them an example of somebody that goes for it. You know, I'm scared to death half the time, and I still go for it. I've got a 15-year-old who's got a magnificent voice, tremendous talent.
Yeah.
Could be famous if she really went to it, or not even famous. She could make a living doing what she loves. She's terrified. But the example that she keeps seeing of me showing up is a bigger lesson than me being here packing her lunch every freaking day. Plus, she's 14. She should be doing it by herself by now.
Right.
So I don't know if that answers your question. I guess I also, you know, I love my own mother to bits, but I there are times when I've used guilt as a way to communicate how she's feeling.
Yeah.
And I don't think she intends to, but it's not effective. And so I also just don't want to lay that on my kids, and I don't want to lay it on myself. It's guilt doesn't do shit for you.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's beautiful. And I've met your kids, and they definitely have their own beat and personality, and you've done a fantastic job of inspiring these little people to just go for it. So all right, so let's talk about that a little further. I want to hear about Inspire 52 first. So tell me about Inspire 52. I have been, you know, subscribed to the newsletter daily for a while now, and I look forward to getting those emails every day. But I know it's more than that. So tell me a little bit about it, and maybe, you know, for down the path, how some of our viewers not only will subscribe but could be involved with it.
Oh, that would be terrific. So here's the deal. So I've been in the news business now for about 7 years. I've hosted a syndicated radio show. I'm on television. I read magazines like crazy. I love entertainment. I love breaking news. And what I started to realize is, holy cow, all of the major websites out there that are publishing entertainment and news and all that stuff are either aimed at people that are 25 and younger, or they're aimed at men, or they're aimed at sports readers, or they're aimed at conservative news. And there's not a single major website that is by women for women, that staff that's waking up every day saying, what do women care about today? What do women want to read? What is the angle on the NFL, who just released a statement today about domestic violence and the new, way in which they're going to handle it with a 6-game suspension and a lifetime ban for the second offense? What do women want to say about that? I don't care what ESPN wants to say about it. I don't need to hear what Stephen Smith's point of view. I want to know what the women around the world are thinking about the issues of the day, what they're doing for entertainment, what games they're playing, what songs they're listening to. And so my former radio producer and I decided to create it. So we launched a website called Inspire 52, but it's way more than that. We wake up every single day thinking about what can we put out into your Facebook news stream? What can we put on Twitter? What can we put on Pinterest? What can we put on Instagram that will help you think, laugh, act, get what you want? And so here's the deal. If you would love to wake up in the morning and get a positive jolt, go to inspire52.com, and it's 52 weeks a year, 5 days a week. That's what the 52 is for. And besides, it's next to impossible to find a URL that means anything. So if you go to inspire52.com and sign up for the email, we'll send you an email 5 days a week, and in your inbox in the morning, you'll get the best stories of the day that will make you feel something positive. That's number one. Number two, if you've got something to say, Amber doesn't know this, but we're going to hit her up to be a contributor to Inspire 52. We're out to build a global contributor network of women that have something to say, whether it's about breaking news, whether it's about art, whether it's about parenting. We're the platform for women to express themselves and to be entertained. And so if you're interested, just go to our website, click about, click contact us, and let us know that you're interested in being a contributor, and we'll reach out. So
don't worry, I will right after we get off.
and that's really my love. I mean, the world is going, as we know, away from television and radio. Here we are in a Google Hangout. This will be, a web series that people see, a podcast they can download. So I'm thinking about being a content creator that's targeting women and figuring out how to get the things that we're writing, that we're filming, that we're publishing, that we're reposting to your phone.
Right.
Because I know that you're busy. You don't have time to go to the Huffington Post or to the Drudge Report and read every single thing there. You want something teed up. You want to be able to read it in line at Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks, or in line at a pickup meeting, or in the pickup line at school, or you want to be able to check it out for a minute before a meeting starts. And that's what we're doing. We're packaging up content that you want in a manner in which you can digest it and read it very quickly. That's fantastic and inspiring. And the women that are listening to this Telesummit are absolutely the people creating content just like this. And they are posting in the places like Huffington Post that exist, and they're constantly looking for these places. But this is a huge opportunity. So I'm really glad we had a chance to really talk about this, both levels of it. We're 4.5 months in and had 2 million people hit the site last month. 78% of them were women 30 to 55. That's fantastic. And it's just being in this demographic myself, it's nice to have a place to go to, and the fact that you're thinking about things in an innovative way. So kudos for that, and thank you for creating this platform. This is fantastic, Mel. All right, so the other thing I wanted to talk about with you is your TED Talk, which I love. I watch it regularly because it is really inspirational. I share it on Twitter a lot. But you said in there that you have a 1 in 400 trillion chance of being you. So tell me a little bit about that for the women that are listening to this who are afraid or to make the leap and go for the thing that they really believe in. What are you waiting for, girls? Can you tell us about that? So I ran across, when I was writing the book, Stop Saying You're Fine, I ran across a really interesting statistic. where scientists have crunched the numbers on the odds of you actually being born. And it's pretty astounding when you take into account the entire history of the world and all of the natural disasters and all of the stages of history that the world has gone through, and the wars and the diseases and everything else. And you consider, what are the odds? I mean, truly, what are the odds of you being born on the day that you were born, to the parents you were born to, with the DNA structure that you got, the entire history of the world? And when these scientists cranked out the numbers, it was over 1 in 400 trillion. Those are the odds of you being you, born when you were born, with the DNA structure and family tree that you got. And so given that the odds of you being here and who you are so insane, what it tells me is that you're a flippin' miracle. All of those intuitions that you have, all of that hard wiring that's sort of trying to nudge or push or coax you to make some choices, to try some things, to be curious again, to say yes even though you know it's going to blow to do the work. It's there for a reason. It's part of that piece of you that's 1 in 400 trillion unique. And by taking action, by saying yes, by overwhelming yourself, by trying new things, by being courageous in just, talking to a stranger, if what your goal is to be less shy or meet the person of your dreams, that's you honoring how much of a miracle you are. And every time that you say no or tell yourself you'll do it later, it's you shutting that part of you down. So that's why I typically start any of the speeches that I do with setting the context of who you are and where you came from and why there is work for you to do.
I love that, because so many of us, maybe not you and me anymore, but probably at different times in our life, believe or told a story that, you're not that great. And then we begin to tell ourselves that story. It's like socialized into us that we expect that we can't do the thing that we want to do, that it's someone else is going to do it. With your daughter, why would she be the one that gets discovered? Obviously it'll be somebody else, right? So why is it this 400 trillion, it is us.
Well, here's the thing I want to say. You never, ever, 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 ever outgrow it. Ever. So my business partner and I have started Inspire 52. We know that we are on to something that could disrupt the entire women's publishing market. We had more people reading our website last month than folks read Vogue magazine. So there is some major shift happening in the universe in terms of people's media consumption, and there's a massive opportunity. So we're all excited. We believe in it. We're working 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, nonstop on this freaking thing. And we're in the middle of raising the first round of angel funding. We're looking for $1 million. If you want to invest, please contact us through Inspire 52.
Yes.
We will close our round, but dear Lord, if you're interested in having a winner of an investment, absolutely get in touch with us. But we were at a VC meeting yesterday with a bunch of very, very well-established investors. We've had multiple successful meetings. We only just started these conversations a week ago, but we walked into a meeting yesterday. We are flying high. We're so excited. And at the end of the meeting, we're told it's impossible to raise media money. So it's impossible in Boston to raise money for a media company. You won't be able to do it. And in fact, here's somebody I would like you to meet who tried to do it last summer and they failed. And as they were telling me this, I'm thinking, we're screwed. We're totally screwed. We might as well pack it up right now. Forget everything we believe in. Forget all the results that we've done. Forget everybody else's enthusiasm in the idea. This person just told me this was not going to happen. Now I'm a train wreck. I was completely deflated for a good 2 hours, and finally my business partner and my husband kicked me in the ass, and then I just it took an email from somebody else kind of being like, yes, I'm very interested in this investment opportunity. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's never, ever leaving you. Your self-doubt is there for the long ass haul. You are never going to pop out of bed in the morning like feeling fresh as a daisy. You're always going to drag yourself out of bed. That's not changing. You're never going to want to do dishes. You're never going to want to fold the laundry. You're always going to have to. Always going to doubt yourself when it matters to you. That's just part of the game. That's like life testing whether or not you're serious.
That's the whole ego thing. And I remember the way that I made a connection with you. I just sent a message to you saying, I want to do what you do when I grow up. And I was like, yeah, right, she'll never get back to me. And you did, and I peed myself practically. So, you know, and the rest is history. So it's like, yeah, go for the thing that you feel the pull inside from, and you got to listen to it. You got to follow it, because even Mel Robbins has the self-doubt bug.
Every day.
Right.
Every single day. It's part of human nature. And the people that get what they want and the people that are the happiest don't stop taking action because of it. I know that every time, it's just stupid stuff. I mean, here I work for CNN, and there are times where if they call me and book me, and then the stories change, right? So a plane changes or something else happens, and then they call as I'm on my way in saying, oh, we canceled the segment. There's a part of you that immediately is like, oh no, you know, what's wrong with me? Well, you know, and it has nothing to do with me. We're not talking about Ferguson anymore. We're talking about a plane story, and you don't cover aviation, Mel. No, but this is, I'm sharing it because it's so important to understand that it is every human being's desire to want to matter, to want to belong, to want everybody to say yes to you. It's why your kids are constantly like, mommy, 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 mommy. They do it until they get your attention. We all still want that as adults. We just manage it better. We're cooler about it. I'm not cooler, but really I want them to call me every 5 seconds. So it's really important for you to understand that this is never leaving you. The desire to be loved, the desire to matter, the desire to fit in, the desire to feel safe, those are all so fundamental to what it means to be human that you got to understand that's just, it's like blinking.
Right. Well, and I think that's great, because it's like, as long as we just get that off the table, that you're always going to feel that way, and that when you send in your guest post to Inspire 52 or to Huffington Post, sometimes you're not gonna get a response, but that doesn't mean you stop writing.
Correct. Or maybe nobody comments on it. Or
right.
Maybe it's shared. Or maybe a bunch of people write you and say you're a total asshole and I hate everything that you say, which happens to me at CNN all the time. Because people typically only respond if you poke them. So it's only the people that are annoyed with you that ever reach out to you.
Right. Not the people that are going to give you the big pat on the back. It's just going to be the people that have something negative to say. Right. Perfect. So I want to just ask you, just sort of like maybe a little Oprah style here. It's just a couple little sort of rapid fire questions, but just to get a sense of where you are now in your life and in your journey. So tell us, what is the message, the most important message that you think needs to be shared with the world right now?
Oh my God, I have no idea.
That's intense, I know. What does the world need more of right now, Mel?
I guess I wish people were just nicer to each other.
Yeah.
I wish I think my personal opinion is that a lot of people are having a really tough go at it. And I go so far out of my way to be polite, be gracious, look people in the eye, make people feel like they matter. I was with my daughter the other day, and a driver had shown up to pick me up to take me to CNN, and he and I were talking because I had recognized him because he had picked me up before, and here I am with a crutch and a donut because I'd broken my tailbone, and he and I are chatting up a storm, la 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 la. And after, I get out of the car and my daughter witnesses all this, and I'm kind of hobbling back into the house on my crutches, she's like, "You are so nice to everybody." And I said, "Well, why wouldn't you be? Like, look at how happy both he and I were as we were sitting there chatting up a storm." And the next day she came home and she said, "There's something I want to talk to you about." And I said, "Okay." And she said, I was at Starbucks, this morning when we drove, we drive, sometimes we drive her to school and we stop and it's a special treat, whatever, and she ran in that particular morning, got her thing, came back out, I dropped her off. When she got home, she told me the story about how when she went in to Starbucks, the line was like 5 people long, and the person at the front of the line, or near the front of the line, was a girl on her lacrosse team that's a year older than her. And Sawyer and this young girl made eye contact, and then they both looked away. And what ended up happening is, as Sawyer was waiting then at the bar for her drink, because the entire time and after she looks at her, of course, what is Sawyer feeling? Oh my God, should I say hello? Should I not? Did she see me? What's going on? She's standing there waiting for her drink, and she said, she came up behind me and said, oh, how was your swimmer, and what's going on? And she said, I felt really stupid because I had made eye contact and I hadn't said hello. And I said, well, this is what you learned. She was just being nice. How did it make you? It didn't actually make you feel good. I mean, it didn't make you feel stupid, Soy. It made you feel great that this girl came over to you and was interested in you. And what you just learned is that the simple act of, hey, you make eye contact, keep walking towards a person, give her a hug, then get back in line. What's the worst thing that's going to happen?
Yeah.
And so it was this very interesting moment where I just realized that people don't look at each other. They don't smile at each other. They're not friendly with each other. I think a little bit more common courtesy and humanity with one another would go a long way. I think the only other thing that people need to hear is yes, you can. You live in a time where you have all the technology, all the tools, all the contacts, everything you could possibly ever need and use to get what you want. The answer is yes, and yes, you should.
That's wonderful. And I will point out that your Twitter bio says, I'll help you however I can. And that's the truth. You do stand by that. So I'm not encouraging everybody in the world to start messaging you right now because you've got a lot going on. But if it resonates, tweet at Mel because she does tweet back. So my next question is, what's your favorite book of the moment? Have you had a chance to read lately? Any books? What is it?
Goldfinch.
One more time.
The Goldfinch.
The Goldfinch.
Yes.
Who's it by?
Donna Tartt.
All right.
Positively fantastic.
Okay, we'll add that to the list. How about what is your favorite song right now?
The first thing that popped into mind was I Feel So Close, but that's not my favorite song of the moment. I hate to admit it, but I think it might just be Taylor Swift's Shake It Off.
That's what I figured. I kind of baited you with that one because I saw your daughter dancing.
70 times a freaking day, so I can neither shake it off my stereo, nor can I shake it out of my head.
Well done, Taylor. What is most sacred to you?
My marriage.
That's beautiful. Man, it is, isn't it? Got to take care of that. That is so important, your relationship.
I'm taking care of it, but it's definitely, I'm looking over at Chris right now.
He's fantastic. I've met him myself. What keeps you going?
I guess the desire to make a difference, because it feels so good when you do. And also, the other thing that keeps me going is I'm really annoyed that there are so many dipshits out there that have made an absolute boatload of money. And I'm now so over complaining about it, even though I just did. It's my turn to be as financially successful as I am a powerful force for people that I come in contact with. Like, I'm so done just making enough to kind of do what I need to do. I want lots of extra. I want abundance. I want to be able to have so much freedom around money, and I'm going to make it happen.
That is really powerful and a really nice kind of closure, because that is what we are all trying to do here in our various business ventures and ideas. And I think one of the things that I preach with my clients is all about alignment, and being in alignment with your truth and the thing you want to do, because I don't believe that it can come to you if you aren't doing the thing that's going to help you change the world. And it sounds to me like the things you are doing are going to do that.
Well, I'm certainly most excited about Inspire 52 because the thing that I love the most about my profession, if I had to pick like of all the things from radio to working with CNN to delivering keynotes to writing, it really is delivering keynotes. And the reason why is I love the feeling that you have handed people the inspiration and the content that they need to either feel better or to make the changes that they want to make. And I can only reach so many people doing that. I mean, the great thing about having delivered that TED Talk is a couple million people have seen it now, which is really exciting. But the TED Talk and the virality of it actually got me thinking about how could I reach more people than just being on a stage in front of a live audience. And that's when my love of news, my interest in the web and in technology, and my desire to really spark something in people collided, and I realized, oh my God, BuzzFeed has 300 million people visiting it. That's how many page views we're doing a month.
Wow.
And it's aimed at 20-year-olds that want to take quizzes and look at, funny kind of weirdo stuff.
Yeah.
What if we put that same energy and that same model to work to entertain and inspire women so that you have a place to go where it's everything from the quizzes that interest you to interesting do-it-yourself tips to long-form articles about, whatever the breaking story is of the day. And so that's what we're building.
That's exciting. Well, I'm definitely going to check that out, and I'm excited just for the other folks who are going to view this who could be really powerful contributors and participants in the Inspire 52 community, because that's ultimately what you're creating here. So, well, this was really wonderful, Mel. You're just a force, and I'm excited to see what kind of results folks are going to have from some of the steps and the tips that you implemented here, just talking about, taking action and recognizing that self-doubt is part of the equation. But it's all about living our freedom, right? And going for the big thing that we want. Stop wasting time. And I'm just super grateful. So thank you, as always, Mel, for being fantastic.
What you've made in the last year, and a happy birthday to your beautiful daughter.
Thank you so much. It's a special day here for certain in the Lillystrom household. So thanks for your part in my journey as well. And we will be in touch, my darling. All right. Thank you, Mel, so much.